Hi everyone and welcome back to Lakeside. I'm Graham, and as I've been promising for probably about a couple of years now, I think, I've now started the lock mechanisms for the canal system up on Lakeside. So as I've mentioned previously, I wanted to build a proof of concept first before I went ahead and made the real one, if you like. So this is what I've got so far. It's made out of 3mm polyboard because it's easy to cut, easy to glue, and I can cut this out and make it up very quickly, change it as and when. So it's working out very well so far. What you see at the moment is the control board. This is all from Megapoint's controllers. It's a control board and 4 servos. 2 servos are under here, which I'll show you in a minute, which will lift the water, which will be here. And these 2 servos will operate the 2 gates. They're called guillotine locks or guillotine gates. So instead of the normal traditional opening and closing gates, these will be like a steel panel which raises up and down to let the water in or let the water out, as the case may be. I'll post a picture up of a typical guillotine lock in case you're not aware of what they are. And the reason I've done that is that to have the gates opening and closing is going to be quite complex in not the opening and closing of it, but to get them so that they can open and close, and this raising up and lowering with the water going in and out. It won't be real water, of course, it'll be just fake water. So after doing some research, the guillotine style gates seemed the obvious choice because that won't affect this raising up and down. So that's the reason why I'm opting for the guillotine style gates rather than the traditional opening and closing. This is not a rant, what I'm going to say, it's just an observation. I know in the past that when I've been doing my weird and wonderful things, that I do get comments about, oh well, you could have used this, you could have used that, I would have done it this way, I would have done it that way. That's fine. You know, if you want to go ahead and build something and you want to do it your way, then I really haven't got any problems with that. But just allow me, and don't forget this is proof of concept, this is probably not the way it's going to be, but at least I know that I can make it, or hopefully make it work. So please don't scream down the screen and say, oh, why didn't you do it? I would have done it. Well, fine. You go, if you want to build a lock gate or something, then please go ahead and do it your way. Share it on a video so that we can all see the method you've chosen. There are more ways of skinning a cat than just one way. This is going to be my way. I'm not saying this is how you should do it. This is just how I'm doing it. So not a rant, I'm just saying, you know, just be careful of what you post as regards comments, because yes, I'm sure you could say, well, you could have used this and you could have used that. Well, I'm sure I could, but this is the method which I want to choose and go ahead with. So with that out of the way, let's see how this goes so far. So at the moment, I wanted this wide enough for 2 barges to fit in. So if I just lift that up, you can see that there's 2 barges in there. One will be motorised, and if you can see, there is a little, it's a mini, I think, yeah it is, it's a mini which is radio controlled. So it has steering, and it goes backwards and forwards, and it's just high enough for the wheels to push this along. I've given it a test up on Lakeside, and it does actually go forward and backwards and turn. So I know that part works. This is just a dummy barge. In fact, this is just a dummy. They're horrible barges, they really are crap. So I will get myself some decent barges, but still have the same mechanism of the radio controlled car inside. It's just so that I can manoeuvre a barge in, raise the water or lower the water, whatever the case may be. I run it out across the viaduct. So it should be quite attractive to look at, because what will happen is the motorised barge will come in, the water will raise, the gate will close, the water will raise, and then the other gate will open, and then the barge will be able to go through and along the viaduct. That's the theory. Now I've just got to make it work. So the viaduct is there, as you know, which goes across the lake and disappears off the other end. And what I've got so far, let's take these out. Underneath, if I just raise that up a bit, that is the, if you like, the base. So that will be the water. So that will be able to go up and down like that. And if I take that out, so that will be covered in like resin, coloured water. I've put walling on the sides to give it a little bit of stability as it's going up and down. I may have to do it at the front and the rear edges as well. I'll see on that. And then underneath here I have two servos, one here, one there, and that will eventually connect up to underneath the water with some wire which will connect to the servo onto here. Now with the Megapoint controller board I can have, I think it's 12 but I only need 4 connectors to each servo. And I can have these operating at different speeds, so from very slow to very fast, and it's exactly the same principle as the operating lift I have on platform 1 and 2 of Lakeside. It's exactly the same electronics, so I know the theory works, or in practice it works absolutely fine. I've never ever had any issues with that lift. When I go up there, switch the layout on, it works every time, first time. Doesn't lose its memory. It's a fantastic system. And I'm hoping that I can use the same kind of facility as what I've got on the lift as what I can here. And there's no reason why this shouldn't work. The controller has different speed settings. It has different, I'm trying to think of the word. You can position the servo arm, when the servo arm is on here like there, that servo arm can be positioned, I can just leave it there, but I can alter that position from the controller. I can then, from the controller, have that servo and that servo operating at exactly the same time, at exactly the same speed and at exactly the same height. And it's all done from the controller using these little buttons here. Can't see it, can you? There's a series of buttons on here which gives you the difference between the speed, the position of the servo arm and a few other things as well. So with all that lot, I should, in theory, be able to get a perfect match for both these servos, so that when they're connected to the water, it lifts up at the same rate and at the same speed and same height. So it won't be doing this going up. It will go up hopefully smoothly, just like the lift does. The only thing I've got to, and I can't do it at the moment, is that I might have to lengthen the walling here so that it doesn't tend to joggle up and down. The way this is going to connect to the servo is I will have two pieces of polyboard coming up with a wire going through and going down and connecting to the servo. So it will be held either side to stop it waggling that way as it goes up, because it'll be supported by the two wires at either end, but operated by one wire coming down to the servo. Unfortunately, I can't do anything else because I'm waiting for the DCC module from Megapoint's controllers, and because of the postal strikes, we've had 4 days now of postal strike since I ordered it, plus we had the Wally exhibition. I still haven't got it. Now it's going to be 2 weeks on Wednesday when I ordered this DCC controller, and it still hasn't arrived, although I did get an email, God bless them, from Royal Mail this morning to say that it is on its way now. And this is a replacement one, because I spoke to Dave at Megapoint Controllers and explained the situation, and he said, no worries Graham, I'll send you out a replacement, and I'll make a claim to Royal Mail to find out where the original one has gone. It's a shame because it's really held me up, because there's nothing I can do now until I get that controller, the DCC controller, so I can hook it up to my Z21 and get these servos operating. I can turn them by hand, of course, but I don't really want to do that. It's not ideal. I want to set it up properly on the controller so that I can get all the throws right. I might have to, I probably will, if I take this off. These servos come with various arms like these. They come in different lengths, sizes, etc. To give me the ideal throw, which I want. So I have, at the moment, I have positioned the servo central to the spindle, so that the servo is running central through here. What I may have to do when I set it up is move that across so that this here is central. It will all make sense when I get it working, so that this here, this arm, that part there at the end where the rod will go through is central rather than the spindle of the servo. But again, I won't know that until I try it. So that's really as far as I've got so far, but I'm pleased with it so far. It's, again, it's proof of concept. As long as I can get it working and find out what the issues are, and I think the biggest issue is getting this to run up and down smoothly. You know, so it's not doing this sort of thing, which is why I'm having 2 points at either end. So that will give me, hopefully, give me the stability that way. Having a servo at either end, here and here, will give me the stability that way. So I should, in theory, not have anything like that happening. That's the theory. I had the similar problem on the lift, but because I've got the experience, if you like, of that, I'm now kind of foreseeing what the issues will be with this setup. So it drops in quite nicely, quite freely. There's a small gap around the edge, but you won't see that. This is just a platform at the moment, so if you imagine that being the baseboard level, I will then chop this around so that this will be flush, and then there will be brick walling around here and then wooden piling thereon. Locks were made of brick primarily, so I'll just put some brick paper around the inside, cover that with water, fake water, resin. That's probably Ruby you can hear in the background. Let me take a slurp of my coffee. But I think at the end of the day this will work. I'm sure I'm going to have to make adjustments to this when I get the magical DCC controller through and fit it up. But for the moment, in theory, this is looking okay. I'm happy with this. It seems, I think it will work. I can't put the pivot points on the water yet. I can't put these pivot points on yet until at such times I get these servos working. Once I get those working and know the throw I need from these arms, they may have to be quite a bit longer to get the operational lift I need to go up and down. It might go with that particular arm, I don't know yet. So we'll see. This is only going to raise, this water is only going to raise about an inch. There to there, about that much. That's all it's going to go up, and it's really just for show, to see water level rising and water level lowering. A lot of locks have huge amounts of room. They have like a 6 foot height of change, but it depends on the gradient of the hill, if you like. The water has to go up or down. The one round the corner from me doesn't raise up very much at all, but they vary across the country given the particular surroundings the locks are in. The next thing I will need to do, once I've got this working, will be to create the lock gates. Now the lock gates will be different in the fact that they will operate differently to the water, because these little servos are going to have to lift a gate probably about 2, maybe 3 inches high above here, so the throw has got to be much longer to lift that up. And I should be making the gates out of, again, for now, polyboard and some plastic channeling, so that the gates can slide up and down inside the channeling. as long as I can get it working, that's all I'm after at the moment. It's not meant for detail at the moment. It's just purely, again, I'll keep saying it, proof of concept. If I can get the proof of concept working where everything goes up and down as it should, then I can start about designing the actual proper lock and gates. Okay, so I think that's about all I can say for the moment, but I just wanted you to see how far I have got so far, and it's at the moment looking okay. I will have a piece going across here so that the barges will go through a narrower entry and exit. Thank God she stopped barking. So it will be going across like this, that the actual exit won't be that wide. Yeah, so I think that's about it for now. As I said earlier, I'm sure there are many ways of creating this, and you know, there's always more than one way of doing a job, isn't there? And I'm sure there are people out there going, well, I wouldn't do it like that, I would do it like that. Well, that's fine, that's fine. So bear with me on this. As soon as I get the controller, the DCC controller, then I'll be able to hook it up and start making progress. But this is just really about as far as I can go at the moment until I get it, which is a shame because I'm itching to get this going. I can possibly start making the provisional gates here to fit. I don't see why I can't do that. So the next video will be probably a combination of getting this working, or getting this working really, along with this, and the construction of the gates here. So that's probably the next video, which I would think, I don't know, possibly next weekend. It depends on when this bloody controller arrives. I'm hoping it's going to be with me midweek now, I would think. If it is, then that'll give me a couple of days to get it working, and in the meantime I can perhaps start roughing out these two gates, see how they go. Okay, so just a quick update, just to let you know that I am keeping to my promise on doing this, because I want to get that one side of Lakeside complete. I want the canal finished, and I want the lake finished, plus all the surrounding scenics to go with it. Well, I've got a few ideas on that as well as regards to scenics. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to getting that one side complete, because that'll be pretty much all four sides of Lakeside done. The other two sides are pretty much done. Sorry, not two sides, three sides are pretty much done. Just need finishing off really, like all layouts. It's you get most of it done, but there's always bits which you haven't quite got round to doing, and that's the same with Lakeside. But this is a major piece of equipment to finish off that Lakeside, that side of Lakeside, because without this then I can't really do much else. Okay, so I think that's about it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you again possibly next weekend, or maybe before, if that controller comes and I can get this working. So look out for the next one, and hopefully it will be a success. If not, back to the drawing board, as they say. But it's looking good so far. I'm pleased with it. Okay, so bye for now, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.